the VCA Voice podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Marie Kerl. Our goal with the VCA Voice is to showcase how VCA Animal Hospitals is taking care of the future of veterinary medicine. We'll bring our purpose to life through meaningful conversations about care, our culture, and the communities we serve. On today's episode, I'm happy to welcome Brian Ruditsky. Brian is a VCA Regional Operations Director in Southern California. Hi, Brian. Welcome.
Hi, Dr. Kerl. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, as a non-veterinarian joining the show, I want to hear about your life and your career journey and what brought you to your current position and when VCA came into the picture.
I actually grew up in Southern California, which is the area I'm a regional operations director for. Went to college at the Merchant Marine Academy in New York and then got commissioned in the Navy.
Okay.
I spent 10 years flying F-18s. I had two daughters at the time and I wanted to spend more time at home. So I got out of the Navy and my wife and I were living in the Central Valley and I got into healthcare. It was a great opportunity. I was doing performance improvement for a community hospital and then got into business development. And it still felt like service to me. Mm-hmm. Building something in the community that we were living in that was going to help other people was very fulfilling. But we wanted to move back down to Southern California. We ultimately came down here, found the job down here, still in human health, in another small community hospital, back actually where I grew up. Got a great experience, got to help build a cardiac cath lab that ultimately my dad ended up in years later. So it was service again, and I really like giving back. I was looking for something different, and I ended up seeing a posting for a hospital administrator at Conejo Valley Veterinary Hospital, which was right around the corner from me. And I'd never been past the exam room in a veterinary hospital. Mm-hmm. And so this was the very first time I walked into the back, and it was amazing to see all the equipment was the same. There was the same IV pumps. They were caring for the pets like it was a person and a family member. And then I got to talk to the people, and they were amazing. Most of the time in human health, when you do something amazing, people say thank you. But sometimes in vet med, the dog will bite you or, leave you all sorts of neat surprises. And the staff comes back every day with a smile on their face and a passion and a love for the animals. And so I said, this is what I wanted to do. So I made a career change, did that for a couple of years, wanted to continue to grow. And I had heard things about VCA. There was an opportunity to be the regional operations director in the area I currently live in. So it fulfilled that mission I was looking for of helping be part of a healthcare system inside of the community I'm part of.
Okay.
I came over to VCA in September of 22, so just shy of 2 years now. And I have absolutely loved it. It's been a great journey so far, and that's how I ended up where I am.
So your current position is Regional Operations Director. Describe that role for me.
So I am the field leadership for 11 hospitals and one very amazing boarding facility. Mm-hmm. And my region is all the way up to Arroyo Grande, which is the Central Coast, out to Bakersfield and the San Fernando Valley through Thousand Oaks. I help them roll out whatever initiatives are coming down through VCA, help them through associate relations problems, help them manage finances, help them set their strategic direction. I view myself as a partner with the hospital manager as well as the staff on, how do we ensure that they have everything they need to be able to provide that amazing care to pets every day.
So your previous experience was really in single site business, and you're now involved with multi-site business management. What kinds of skills are really imperative for managing multiple businesses?
Yeah, we used to say when I was flying F-18s, we're a jack of all trades. And I think this is very similar.
Okay.
There's days where I'm on the phone with our associate relations partners. There's days where we're digging in deep into financials and trying to find opportunities. But I think a lot of it always comes back to people and building the relationships with people. And that's everybody, not just the hospital manager, but all the way to the frontline associates, our CSRs, RVTs, our doctors, just making sure that they know we're here to support them. So I think that, the major difference, like you said, it was a single site before. It was a lot easier. You got to know everyone. This moving over to VCA probably tripled the number of people that I now have to figure out who they are. And that's very rewarding. But I would say being engaged with the team and being with people is probably the biggest challenge at times. It's a great challenge, but, being out there and talking with staff is really important.
So what are a couple of the great parts of your role and what are a couple of challenges?
I think, some of the great parts are the people and getting to see them grow. I always love watching vet techs and the RVTs go off and then come back as DVMs. There's so many great stories around VCA of people starting out as a CSR and growing into group vice presidents and different positions. So working with people who put a smile on their face, even when, the dog's growling at them and, doesn't want them anywhere near them. That's the fun part of the role. And then the challenges are, we still have to run a business, and we still have to figure out, how do we find opportunities to make sure that we are good stewards and we're responsible for the resources that VCA and Mars has provided us, and that we are, doing the best we can to build a hospital to be, a top tier provider of care.
Brian, the other reason I really wanted to talk with you today in particular is to learn more about the California Post fire that is currently affecting your region and learn about our VCA response. Today is June 20th as we're recording this. What's happening with the fire as of today?
So the last time I looked, about an hour or so ago, the fire was 50% contained. Mm-hmm. It started right at the intersection of two highways coming together between Southern California and Central California. And it was about 16,000 acres. And that's why it prompted about 12,000 people to be evacuated. The last I saw, they are still evacuated, or at least under evacuation orders. So that's where it was this morning.
Walk me through how the wildfires impact those that are put in risk in fire areas. You're from the California area, so I'm sure that this may seem routine to you, but for other listeners, what generally happens and how much time do people have when an evacuation is called?
So fires are crazy sometimes, especially with the winds. We get winds that are called Santa Ana winds, and they can take a fire and move them 40, 50 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. The rain is a blessing and a curse. The blessing was, the hills were green and the drought was significantly reduced. The curse was everything that has grown during the winter is now dead and is fuel for the fire. Yep. That can really put people in a lot of danger, and those fires move pretty quickly. So where I am, we've had to evacuate only once. And, it's pretty nerve-wracking for people. You're trying to grab all the important things that you're thinking of in the moment, and it can be a little chaotic. And so just getting out and getting everything can be a challenge.
So what about pet owners? How do we talk to pet owners so that they understand how to keep the whole family safe if they are suddenly encounter an evacuation order?
When we're grabbing our important documents, their important documents are vaccine records, and we have any sort of medical record, making sure we have that for them. But for pet owners, just ensuring that they've got the food ready to go, medications ready to go, and that they are thinking through anything that we might need as people, that the pets are going to need as well, and making sure that we have that.
So the other thing that recently came to my attention earlier this week is that 4 of your hospitals had really quickly responded to this situation by offering emergency housing for pets of displaced people. Share with me how that response happened, because it seems really quick to me.
Yeah, a lot of that is the amazing team of VCA. I believe the fire started on the 15th, about 5 days ago, mm-hmm. and it was not contained, and that was a Saturday. And so Monday morning, Fawn Neivold, who is our regional technician director, sent out an email and saying, hey, the fire is less than 2% contained. Is there anything we can do? And the amazing VCA team just jumped in and started a Teams chat and asked me what hospitals we had in the area and if everyone was okay. And that turned into a conversation around, well, we've got VCA Bakersfield, we've got VCA at the Oaks north of the fire. Both of them have boarding facilities. They're safe. And so if people evacuate to the north, they could easily take on more pets for people who are being displaced. And to the south into Los Angeles, if people headed that way, we have VCA Chatsworth, and we have the Barclay, which is a boarding facility out in Westlake. Said yes right away. We can take on any pets that are displaced and need to come down to the area. Mm-hmm. The code to waive any costs activated right away. And, it's summertime, so some of the boarding is at capacity. And nobody even thought twice about that. Well, we'll move pets around. We'll make things happen. We'll be here for clients or anyone who's displaced by the fire.
So why do you think your teams made this decision to provide such strong community support for pet owners?
Everyone who lives in Southern California knows how bad a natural disaster could be around a fire.
Right.
Fires are so quick moving. 1 minute you're not in the danger zone and the wind shift, and the next minute you are. And I think we've always had a sense of community. One of the things I love about my region and, everyone in VCA is how tight knit we can be. When I first joined, I would reach out to what I thought were random people and ask questions. And the first answer was, hey, that may not be me, but let me help you. And so everyone in this organization I've ever run into has been very giving. When the fire started, people were just already predisposed to helping and giving. And so I think that's why they were so quick to respond.
So, Brian, do clients have to pay for this emergency housing, and is there a time limit that it's available?
No, there's no fee for the boarding. And even after the fire's out, people may not be able to get right back into their homes, or there may be, delays in getting rebuilt or anything like that. So however long we need to take care of the pets, we're here for them, and we're happy to do it. So there's no fee and there's no time limit.
Well, that's really tremendous. Having to manage housing and care for a lot more pets all of a sudden can be really hard on a hospital team. How are you supporting your associates who are in these hospitals who are providing the care?
I think it is around summer, and a lot of these facilities that do boarding are already staffed up and ready to take on, all the summer vacation pets. And so that's the good thing, is no one's really understaffed right now. But just making sure, like we always do, that our associates are feeling okay. If they look concerned, just asking them, hey, how are you doing? And making sure that we keep that connection between associates and that they're doing okay, because this can be rough on caregivers as well to see, pets displaced. So just frequent check-ins and making sure that everyone knows that we're all there for each other. And if they need anything, just to ask.
Have your team seen any animals injured because of the fire, or is the primary need today for those displaced from their homes due to evacuation orders?
Thankfully, so far, we haven't seen any injuries. So the primary need has been around boarding. As of last night, I talked to my hospital managers. No one has boarded, but we will be there until the fire's out and people are back in their homes in case they do need us to help them out with their pets.
Certainly our VCA hospitals across North America have a long history of coming together and stepping in when emergencies and natural disasters occur. In November 2022, on the podcast, I spoke with another regional operations director, Lisa Gillespie, following the impact of Hurricane Ian in Florida. And as of today, there are currently other fires our teams are impacted by in Northern California and New Mexico, where community support is also occurring. Why do you think there's such a strong culture of support for our communities in VCA?
I think it goes back to my why, and I think it's a lot of people's why. We're here for the pets and we're here for their owners. It feels good to do something that affects somebody's life in a positive way. We're in the communities. We're serving our local communities to help them with their pets' health, and being safe during a natural disaster is part of helping with that. And the why is because it feels right and it feels good, and it's what we do when we're part of a community. We reach out and we help.
At VCA, our promise is that we offer world-class medicine and hometown care. And I look at these initiatives as really that hometown care part. Most of our hospitals have long-term legacies in their communities before joining VCA, and providing that community support is incredibly important. Disaster response really starts at the community level before it goes to the state or federal level. So I truly appreciate the activity of your teams, and I'm going to give them a shout out, and as well as our other hospitals who are stepping up to offer this service.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very lucky to have an amazing team and the associates.
Do you have any closing thoughts or words for your hospital teams or for other hospitals that are facing natural disasters in their communities?
I guess the only thing I would say is, first, to my hospital teams, thank you for everything you do, being there for your community. And then to remember that, we came from our communities, and a lot of our hospitals are acquired and maintain that community feel. And that's one of the great things about VCA is these hospitals maintain who they are. And so just remember to be part of the community and look out for each other when bad things happen, and we'll be there for our clients and their pets.
Well, those are wonderful closing words. So, Brian, thank you so much. I know that you're tremendously busy right now, and I appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your day to talk about this. And I'll continue to follow the fire and hope that the containment efforts continue and that we don't lose any property or lives with this fire.
Thank you. And it was great talking with you.
Thank you so much for listening in. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to leave a review to let us know your thoughts and share the episode with friends. Follow VCA Animal Hospitals on social media at LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. For more inspiring stories, visit our website at vcavoice.com.